Holy shit, guys, I think I caught a bass. Tarred bank line number 36. This is twisted and about a 6 foot length. Just a square knot and then finish it off with another loop over top of itself. It creates a pinch, this pinch here. We're going to snip off the excess. Of course, now these don't want to work. We're going to take a lighter and we're going to burn what's left of that and make a bead. Ow! There you have it. There's a bead right here that's created so that the bank line can't slip out of itself. Drinking water jug with the tab. The tab is super strong. Same thing. Do you a square knot. Flip it around over top. One more time. Tighten it down. I'm going to take the leftover tab that's sticking out. We want to burn that down to a nub, which I can't seem to do because of the wind. And there you have your nub. That'll keep the line from slipping back through itself. have it. You can actually poke the hook through. Not all the way, just enough to keep it safe and out of the way. And there's your turtle jug. That's what I make. Super easy, super simple. It's hot as hell out here. I have a bit of a cold, but for whatever reason, having kids, I guess, I'm gonna get some turtle lines out today and see what happens tomorrow. Pond doesn't usually have all this stuff in it, and it's really clear. I checked it just the other week. But it looks like somebody's been doing spillway work back that way. All right, guys, we got a storm coming. I don't know if you hear the rolling thunder, probably not. This water is warm, unusual for this spot. Because it's spring fed, it's usually pretty cool, which has me concerned. I don't see any dead fish floating, but I'm gonna get this done quick. I'll show you my setup, then I'm getting the hell out of here. All right, that's what I do, something like that. These are chicken gizzards. That's what I use for bait. They're really tough. They stay on the hook, and they're tough to chew. So like smaller turtles coming up, hitting this, it's gonna be really tough on them. But we're gonna get this tossed out here. And of course, my bait lands on the only freaking lily pad out here. Here's another one done up. We're gonna toss it right up here ahead. Yep, just like that. And we're gonna leave it. Storms are coming. I don't know if it's gonna hit me though, but I'm gonna get these other two out and get out. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my first jug I put out, oh, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, is moving. It's moving. Could be a fish, could be a small turtle. Got a little piece of extra bait if I gotta put something back on it. The lily pad is moving. See the lily pad moving? Holy shit, guys, I think I caught a bass. Oh, I caught a fucking catfish. I didn't even know there were catfish in here. You go out turtling and you catch a nice catfish. But I don't know what type this is, but you can see there's spawning marks on them. I think it's a flathead. Either way, we'll keep them. We'll throw them in the back, rebait the hook, move on with the lives. What the hell? I fished here for 10 fucking years. Never knew there were catfish in here unless somebody's been putting them in recently. Unbelievable. All right, y'all, well, while I'm vulnerable and I'm sweating my ass off, I mean, my shirt is just soaked. I wanted to take a minute and talk about trapping because you guys see I do a lot of black powder videos and I also have a handful of trapping videos, and I'm out here turtle trapping today. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been catching critters. It's just instinctual to me. And I'd say about, I don't know, 8 years ago or so, ended up trapping because I was bow hunting a set and heard something coming from behind me. So I turned around, sure enough, this coyote slipping by. Broad daylight, it was October afternoon. I jumped up and grabbed my bow, couldn't get him in time. Sat back down. About 30 minutes later, I hear ch-ch-ch-ch. Look around, coyote's coming, groundhog in its mouth. I get up, I take the bow, draw back, smack that thing in the rump, and it took off. Long story short, I lost that thing in a thicket, a overgrown clear cut. And ever since then, it was just this passion, seeing a coyote in person. I've got to catch one of those. So I researched and studied and figured out the best methods. And as a hunter for a long time, pretty much my whole life, and an outdoorsman, I always thought trapping was cheating. And I think a lot of people think that way, and I think a lot of people have this, you better not jump out of there, boy. I think a lot of people have this, I don't know, false stigma or false idea of what traps look like, you know, giant teeth and all that. And it really blew me away once I got on YouTube and started researching. You know, how not really all that dangerous these traps were, and how their function started to make sense to me. You're really catching the animal by the paw. You're not trying to break their leg or anything. Here comes some rain. But anyway, I stumbled across the Meat Trappers channel, and from then my eyes were really open as to what the capabilities are, or, you know, to get food for yourself, for your family. And I've literally been catching food my whole life and just not put two and two together. And I came full circle. And yeah, it's a big part of the reason I wanted to do a YouTube channel as well, is to, you know, pass down some of this knowledge. But let me tell you, turtles are freaking tasty. They are yummy. And I cannot wait to catch some. I hope I get some tomorrow. At this rate, it looks like I'm just going to catch catfish, which I'll freaking take them. I don't care. But I do want some turtle. So these catfish need to chill. Anyway, guys, you know, I'm not trying to preach, to each their own. But you need to start waking up and realizing the kind of situation we're in, and what the conditions call for. There's food all around us that we could procure using whatever means possible, and that's the idea. That's what indigenous tribes still do to this day. So, with that being said, I'm signing off. I'm taking this catfish home, and I'll come back out tomorrow and take you along with me. One other thing I wanted to mention is I'm using jugs in this situation. Look at that gorgeous tree. I'm using jugs in this situation because there's lily pads literally all around the edge of this pond. And what I've done historically is set these jugs out, catch a turtle. The turtle goes for the edge or the bank and gets wrapped up in the lily pads. And he only really goes feet from where I caught him. So they're really easy to find. I don't have to chase them down. But just a little pointer there, if there's lily pads around a pond. Freaking bugs, man. Use that to your advantage by doing these jug lines. All right, next day check. We're gonna get out here, see if we got any turtles or catfish. Woo. All right, guys. Came up to the, look at all these bugs. Came up to the first jug here. It looks like we have some movement. I see the other 3 in the back. I don't know if you can see those. We definitely got movement on those. And I put all the 4 jugs towards the back side of the pond where the creek comes through, because it acts like a funnel. It's gonna funnel all your turtles and everything else. So let's, bear with me. I have to use my phone. But let's pull this in and see what we got. If we can pull it in. We may actually be skunked. That's all right, we got a little skunked. There's our bait. One thing I did want to point out is that anytime you have these pond plants like this, I don't know what they're called, but anytime you have those, turtles eat these. Good habitat for turtles. Just something to keep in mind. Turtles don't always eat meat. Well, that's what's left of our bait. Freaking gross. All right, we got 2 jugs here, and starting to feel like we may have gotten skunked today. Maybe other little critters just robbed us. Oh, something's tugging. Ah! Catfish. He's a fighter too, good Lord. Hey, you know what? It ain't no turtle, but I'll take it. Wow. God, he is just thrashing. About the size of the one I caught yesterday. Sweet. And these are, I've been told, these are bullhead catfish. Some people prefer to eat them, some people don't. All right, guys, unfortunately, no turtles today, but we did get another catfish. I've got them looped off here. I'm bleeding them out. I don't know if I could show this or not. I don't want YouTube to cry. Looks like he's mostly there now. But basically, you open that main gill flap and you just slice your knife across the gills. If the gills are horizontal, you slice right through the gills and let the fish bleed out. And with most fish, it gets rid of that bitter taste and keeps it from being really fishy. But this is interesting, and the water feels much cooler today than it did yesterday. And I noticed it has more flow to it, and we've got more water exposed up there and not these little, green flecks of stuff in here. And I think they had to fix the spillway. And there have been beaver in here damming stuff up, and beaver are a pretty big problem around here. What's concerning about this to me is I think somebody has introduced these catfish into this pond. I've fished here for 10 to 15 years, and I've never seen or heard of anybody catching catfish in here. But you gotta understand where I live. I live in a rural, middle-class community. There's a lot of other poor folks around. Usually what the poor people will do is, because they rely on natural resources for food, they will introduce catfish into small drainage ditches, ponds, you name it, and let them breed like crazy. And they know they can just basically throw a line in the water and catch catfish whenever they need them. And I mean, it sounds like I'm probably full of crap, but I'm not. That's what people do around here. I've seen them do it. We had a Dollar General up the road, and they had to do work to their, it was just a little drainage pond. It was a perfect oval shape, totally man-made. That had a little spillway, just an overflow for the parking lot, basically. When it would rain heavy, it would all go to this little pond. Well, they had to do work on the pond, So they had to pump all the water out of it to get to what they needed to work on. I think it was just the spillway they needed to work on. And sure enough, catfish flopping around in there. They didn't get there by themselves. So there's a lot of smart people around here, you know. Never underestimate a poor person, and never underestimate a convict. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm gonna get this dude home, get him filleted, and I'm gonna chill and eat some steamed crabs today. Disappointed about the turtle factor, but I might need to move to a different spot and come back here with some catfish tackle. But either way, I'll definitely get a turtle.